Okay. Now, I am on purposely going to look straight at the back wall up in the sky so nobody feels like they are being attacked. But there are certain groups of individuals that sit in various places in this room that tend to fall into a certain pattern of behavior when it is time to either mark things or take notes. And then those certain groups of individuals tend to be the groups of individuals that also get X's instead of ticks on their homework checks. So, without looking at any of those groups of individuals, I would like those groups of individuals right now, when I stop talking in a moment, to take a second and think to themselves, self, am I going to continue to not pay attention? And if so, am I going to continue to not pay attention in such a way that other people are affected by me not paying attention? By which Mr. Myers must mean, if I am not going to pay attention, should I be making the fact that I am not paying attention public knowledge? Everybody understand?
Yes.
Okay. So, determine CD. Where is CD? Excellent. Thank you. There is CD. In order to determine the length of CD in a trigonometric unit, I must need a triangle, yes? And in order to do trig on a triangle, I must need two pieces of information about that triangle. So, I could either use this one, or I could use this blue one. Which one of those two has the two pieces of information? The blue one. Excellent. So, once I have decided on the triangle I'm going to use, all I need to do is write down the trig I am going to do. To write down the trig I am going to do, I must make a decision. That decision is made for me by the triangle. Because the blue triangle has a theta of what? 32. And the blue triangle has one side that we know. What side is that? It is the hypotenuse that is 16. Now, a great many of you will say to me, Mr. Myers, I thought it was the adjacent. But of course, that would be wrong, because this symbol, which makes this a 90-degree angle, points at the hypotenuse, which means 16 must be the hypotenuse. Now, what is the side that I need? I need this over here, which is plainly across the triangle from theta. Across means opposite. Now, is there any thought required to which of the three I am going to use?
No.
Absolutely not. Because, which one must I use? Sine. Of what? No. There you go. Sine of 32. And then, Sam, 16 times that. Why? Because it's opposite over hypotenuse. And the hypotenuse is 16, so I must have to multiply that. 16 sine 32. Now, a great many of you will then say to me, Mr. Myers, I don't know how to punch that into my calculator. Even though this is like the 20th lesson of trig, and every time we punch something in, I make sure everybody can do it, and I still get people telling me they can't. If you still cannot do this, you figure it out, and you figure it out right now. If you have a forward calculator, you punch it in as you see it. If you have a backwards calculator, this reverses. And you must hit equals on both calculators. If you do not hit equals, you have not told your calculator to finish the job. And the answer is, of course, 8.5. for 1 mark because you only needed to do one piece of trig to find that. You did not even need to draw it. If you wrote out the work all correctly, you may have a half a mark. Yes, Brianna. Fine. Next question. The expression to find CB. Where is CB? Right here, yes? Now, expression means, am I looking for the actual answer? No, I'm looking for the work. And because we know this is 8.5, can I do tan of 32? Yes. Can I do cos of 32? Yes. Could I use Pythagoras? Yes. Are all of them equally right? Yes. So you get 1 mark for one of these 3 things. 8.5 divided by tan 32. That would get you 1 mark. You could also do 16 cos 32. That would get you 1 mark. Or you could do the square root of 16 squared minus 8.5 squared. Any one of those gets you the 1 mark there. Does everybody understand why? Excellent. Moving on. What is the height of AC? AC is right here. If this is 45, how big is that? 45. If those 2 angles are the same, what do you know about those 2 sides? They're the same. So it was 8.5. Could you also have done tan to do it? Yes. Well, now you do. And the distance from A to D. A to D is right down. A to D is right down there. You could have done Pythagoras with 8.5 and 8.5. You could have done sine of 45 or cos of 45. It didn't matter. But the answer, if I'm not mistaken, was 13 something. 13.6 sounds good to me. Making that page out of 4, because every question required you to do one thing, and one thing only. How did you get 12? What did you do? 8.5 divided by cos 45. So your theta was 45, your adjacent was 8.5, and you needed the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse was x. So cos 45 equals adjacent, 8.5 over h. So 8.5 divided by cos 45 did not get you that, did it? Why? Because it's not 8.5, is it? It's 8.4, 8, 3, 6, 7, 9, 5, 7, right? You round it off. So if you did this with a rounded number, you would still get full marks. That's why I say for the 100 billionth, cajillionth, trillionth, bamillionth, uber 9 dillionth time, show work. Because if Sam handed me a test that said 12 there, what would I give him? Wrong. Because I have no idea what he did, and the answer he showed me was wrong. Do you all understand me? So what is the one question I should never hear ever again in this class, but I will hear constantly? Got to show work. What is the answer? Yes. Okay, number 5. I gave you a hint. I told you needed 2 triangles. Why do you need 2 triangles? Jack? One to show the north and east, and one to show the height. Because you don't measure height as a north and an east, do you? If I say go 100 miles north, do you go straight up in the air? No. You walk that way and you end up in Whistler. Understand? So we need two triangles. One of them is on the ground. How far north did I go? 37. How far east did I go? 81. So how far away is the plane if it was on the ground? What finds me this distance?
37 squared plus 81.
Right, the square root of 37 squared plus 81 squared, which equals 89.1. If the plane was on the ground, it would be 89.1 away, yes? So, the airport is here. The plane, if it were on the ground, would be 89.1 kilometers away, yes? Is the plane on the ground? Where's the plane? Up in the sky. How high? 6 kilometers. So the plane is up here. How far away is the plane from the airport? The hypotenuse. How do I find the hypotenuse? Pythagoras again. And it ends up being 89.3. Now, a lot of people say, oh, Mr. Myers, that was really hard. I didn't get it. Fair enough. But it's not that tough when you sit down and think about it, is it? Planes aren't on the ground, are they? If the plane drove on the ground, you might as well drive your car. It's a lot cheaper. Not to mention it would be pretty scary to have a 747 driving down Bevan Avenue there. Now, I have a quick story about this. I used to have a friend. Well, no, she's still my friend. She used to have a husband. Her husband was a liar. Like a liar of teenage caliber, right? Like the way you guys tell things. Did you do your homework? Yeah. Did you brush your teeth? Yeah. Did you clean your room? Yeah. That type of lie. Like he just lied for the sake of lying. And she got mad at him one day. She was tired of the lies. And she said to him, that's it, man. We're married. You got to start telling me the truth. Because if you're lying about little things, you must be lying about big things. So one day I was at her house. Me and my girlfriend were at our friend's house. And we were supposed to be eating dinner with the friend and her lying husband. And the lying husband, the phone rings. He's late. The phone rings. And my friend picks up and says, where are you? And he says, you're not going to believe this. I'm stuck out in Sydney. Because we were in Victoria. Why are you in Sydney? I had a job in Sydney. Okay. Why aren't you home? A plane landed on the highway. And she's like, she doesn't even say anything. She just goes, click, hangs up, and turns to us. He just told me that a plane landed on the highway. Now, to be fair, the airport in Victoria is out by Sydney, right? So she hung up and said, that's it. He's like, how can he possibly think I would ever believe that? That's stupid. Turn on the news. A plane had landed on the highway because it had had engine trouble and wasn't going to make the airport. The one time he told the truth.
Was it a small one?
Yeah, it was just a small one, like a Cessna. Yeah. But still, no. But still, a plane landed on the highway. Huh? Oh, eventually, but that wasn't what did it. She was actually really angry, not because he had told, like, she should have been happy because he was telling the truth, but she was actually really angry because he told the truth. I know, she was a difficult woman to get along with. All right, so we're covered. Is it 89.5? I don't know. Is it? I didn't do the math. I'm going on memory. Is it 89.5? This one should be 89.5? Nah.
Wait. I thought it was supposed to be the same measurement.
Where?
The bottom one.
It is 89.1. 89.1.
Maybe write a 5.
I made you write a 5?
It looks like a 5.
That looks like a 5?
Look at
That looks like a 5.
yes.
The 9 looks like a 5.
Yes. Because it doesn't have that sun. Yes.
Whatever. Now, okay, that was worth 2 marks because you had to draw 2 triangles. Okay, now, guys, which of these triangles is the angle along the ground? Is it blue or red? It's the blue one, right? And which angle do I need? Do I need angle A or angle B? Read the question. I want the angle east of north. It is angle A, right? Because that is north and that is east. So I need this angle. How do I find an angle? Sine, cos, tan, or shift, sine, cos, tan? Shift. Which one should I use? Does it matter?
No.
Why?
Because you have all the angles.
Because I have all 3 sides. But which is the smartest one to use? Why tan, Jack?
Because you got the hypotenuse from doing those 2 numbers, so but those 2 numbers are definite.
I have the exact nice numbers there. So I should do shift tan of what?
37 over 80.
Ooh, swing and a miss. Tan is opposite over adjacent. So it is 81 over 37, which gets you 65 degrees. Now, this is 65, right? Now, does that answer the question?
No.
The question says east of north. So what direction did I start in? North. How far did I adjust? 65 to what direction? East. That gets you the full mark. This gets you half a mark, making that question out of 1. Everybody good? All right. And finally, what is the angle of elevation? Is that the red or the blue triangle? Red. Angle of elevation is between what and what?
89.3 and 85.1.
It's between 89.3 and 89.1 because it's in there. You know that's 6. Is it a shift or a regular? Shift because I need an angle. What one should I use? Does it even matter? No. And you find out that it's 4 degrees for 1 mark. Is everybody good with the airplane now? All right. Of course you can. This question has the triangles for you. Which triangle will get me the height of the tree? The yellow or the blue? The yellow. So, because I want the height of the tree, I am only looking at the yellow triangle. Do I have a theta?
Oh, yeah.
What else do I have?
You have a adjacent.
An adjacent of 52. And what do I need?
Your opposite.
I need the opposite. What uses O and A? Tan of what? Equals what? No.
X over
Then what?
52 tan 32.
52 times tan 32. And I get 32.5. For 1 mark. Why is it only 1 mark? Because you only did one thing. You didn't even have to draw your own triangle. Now, here is where math teachers want to cry. Because there are students in this class that will say, well, I could do the top one. I don't know how to do the bottom one.
It's the same thing.
I know that. That's like saying, what's 10 plus 5? 15. Okay, what's 13 plus 2? I don't know, I can't add. Do I have a theta in the bottom? What is it? Do I have an adjacent? What is it? What do I need? Tan 67 equals opposite x over 52. 52 tan 67 equals 122.5. But that's not the answer, is it? Because I want the whole height. So what do? You add them to get 155 meters. That's worth 2 points. Feet, doesn't matter. Making that page out of 3 and 4 is 7. Remember, be charitable with yourself. If you drew some of this first triangle, you did something with it, give yourself a half a mark. Anytime you show knowledge of math, you get credit in a math class. Number 7, do you have the triangles? No. You better draw them, right?
Oh, yeah.
What do you know?
You know that the distance between the two trees.
You know there's 2 trees. How far apart are they? 100. There's tree 1. There's tree 2. What do you know about those trees? That from a point midway, meaning how long is that? How long is that? 50. The angles of elevation, which are where? Where is the angle of elevation? Always.
From the point.
From the ground up.
Yeah.
One of them is 8, one of them is 13, yes?
Yes.
Do you know this tree's height?
No.
No. Do you know this tree's height? No. Why did I give them different letters?
Because they're not the same.
Because they're not the same height. X is what? Do I have a theta? What is it? 8. What else do I have?
The bottom. The
Adjacent is 50, and my opposite is
X.
x. Do I have a theta?
Yes.
What is it?
13.
13. Do I have an adjacent? 50. Do I have an opposite?
Y.
Y. Adjacent's on the bottom, yes?
Yes.
So to get rid of it when it's on the bottom, it's multiply, isn't it?
Yes.
So this must be 50 tan 8. And this must be what?
50, 10, 30.
50 tan 13. Which one's taller, Y or X?
Y.
Why is Y taller? Because it's got a bigger angle. So we must want to do Y minus X to find the difference, yes? So if I do that one first, and then I subtract that one, you get 4.5. Nearest centimeter? So then you got to actually do it, right? It's 4.5 what? No.
Meters. So it's
Nearest centimeter. You need how many decimal places for centimeters? 2 for centimeters. So what is it?
450 centimeters. Or 4 meters, 50 centimeters.
4 meters, 50 centimeters. That would be worth 1 for the drawing, 1 for the trig, and 1 for realizing you must subtract. 3 points. All right. This question was difficult, but I showed you on the map, yes? Where did I sail in the first one? Sailboat left Roberts Point. So I started at Roberts Point. I'm going to put an R there, yes? I'm going to come over onto the map to show this. Come on. Wake up. Wake up. I said wake up. I started at Roberts Point. Where did I go from Roberts Point, according to the question? A sailboat sails to Coal Island. Coal Island. Then where? Fernie. Then where?
Back home.
Back home. So I have that triangle. Goes from Roberts to Coal to Fernie to home. What part of that do I know?
The distance from Fernie to Roberts.
Fernie to Robert is 1750. Nice job, Josh. What else do I know?
You know the angle from R.
R to C, which is what?
16.
16. Can I now solve the rest?
Yes.
Why?
Because it's easy.
Because I have a theta of what?
16.
And I have a
Adjacent.
of what? 1750. What do I need? Opposite and hypotenuse. Which one do you want to do first? Does it matter?
No.
Well, I'm going to do tan because I got O and A first, right? So, tan 16 is O x over A, 1750, yes?
Yes.
O over A. So, 1750 tan 16. That gets me one of them, doesn't it? I'm not even going to write it in because I don't need to do it yet, do I? Because I want the whole total, yes? So I know that's one of the sides, correct? The other side is I've got A and H, right? So what uses A and H? Cos 16 equals A, 1750, over H. So H equals 1750 divided by cos 16. I want to know the total distance, don't I? So what do I do with 1750, the opposite, and the hypotenuse? Add them all up. When should I do that? If I do it at the end, I don't have to worry about rounding, do I? And all I do is punch in what I see. I go to my calculator, and I go... Now, do I have a forward calculator? Yes. So I go 1750 tan 16. Then what? Divided by? Plus 1750 divided by cos 16. Then what? Plus 1,750. I got to get home, right, Tasha?
Yes.
And I get what for an answer? 4,072 meters. How much is that worth? Do you think?
2.
How much? Did you have to draw the triangle?
Yes.
So that's 1. Did you have to do trig?
Yes.
That's 2. Well, 1 mark there. Did you have to do trig again?
Yes.
That's 1 mark there. Then what?
Yeah, add them all up.
Add it all up. That's 1 mark there, making this out of what?
4.
4.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of marks you have there, no?
The next question says I go Curtis, I go Armstrong to Kingfisher to Curtis, right? Armstrong to Kingfisher to Curtis. Where's Armstrong?
There.
Right there, yes? Where's Kingfisher?
Up to the left.
Right there. Where's Curtis? Right there. There's my triangle, right? So my triangle was Armstrong to Kingfisher to Curtis, yes? Do I know any of those numbers?
Yes.
Which one?
You know Curtis to Armstrong, which
Is 800. Do I also know the bearing?
Yes.
It's 307, right?
Yes.
Which means I started straight north, and how do I count? Clockwise or counterclockwise? Clockwise, around to 307. If that's 307, what's this? 37? Okay, Sam, I understand what you're doing, but pretend I am facing north, looking at Curtis Point, and I start to turn in a circle. And I turn all the way around, and now I'm facing north again. How many degrees is that? 360. But I didn't turn all that way, did I? How far did I turn? 307, which is how much short of 360? 43? 53. That, I understand what you did. You did the west thing, right? All the way around to west is 270, right? You need to go to 307. So this is west, right? So you went an extra 37, but that isn't the triangle you made. You needed what was in here, the rest of the 90. Do you understand? So you still get a half a mark, and you're going to get 1 if you do all your trig right. Okay? I'm going to tell you what I mean in a sec. If you didn't get 53 here, but you drew the triangle and you said 37 like Sam did, give yourself half a mark for that. That's 1. Now, do I have a theta?
Yes.
What is it? It's 53. If you did 37, that's okay. And you have an adjacent of 800. What did you need?
Your opposite.
An H and an O, right? The hypotenuse and the opposite. What uses A and H? Cos 53 is 800 over H, right? So H is 800 divided by cos 53. Now, Sam, if you did cos 37, you still get the full mark there, right? Because you're doing the right trig. You just used the wrong number. Should I do that on my calculator now? No, because then I'm going to round it off. I'm going to get a bad answer, aren't I? What about the other one? I have a theta 53 and I have an adjacent and I need an opposite. So that's tan 53 equals opposite O over adjacent, which is 800. How do I do that? 800 tan 53. What do I do with those two numbers? Add them, and then what do I add at the end? Another 800 for on the way back. And I get an answer of... Somebody did this. What'd you get? Because I'll remember the right answer when I hear it. So nobody... Oh, a bunch of you probably used 37, right? $3,190. If you did it right, 0.9. If you use 37, you still get full marks as long as you did 800 divided by an 800 times. One, 2, 3, 4 for that, making this whole page out of 4, 4, and 3, 11.
If you did 37, what would you get? 2.5?
Yeah, I'd give you 2.5. Did I need to draw the triangle here? So am I getting any credit for drawing? No. What do I need?
You need to figure out...
I need that, don't I?
Yes.
Which means I need 2 pieces of information from this orange triangle, yes?
Yes.
Do I have 1 piece? I have a theta 43, but I need another piece, yes?
Yes.
This is exactly what you were supposed to use your project thing for. Because if I know this purple triangle, can I do this?
Yes.
Great. Do I have a theta for purple?
Yes.
Do I have an adjacent for purple? What is it?
30.
30. I need the
Opposite.
opposite. What uses O and A?
10.
Tan equals O over A. X over 30. 30. Tan 69 equals. Should I push any buttons yet?
No.
I can if I want.
Yeah,
But I know that this is 30 tan 69, yes? In the orange triangle, do I have a theta?
yeah.
What is it?
43.
43. What is this? Adjacent or opposite?
Adjacent.
Adjacent. My adjacent is 30 tan 69, yes? What's my opposite?
X.
X. Tan 43 equals opposite X over 30 tan 69, right? How do you get rid of the denominator? Multiply, yes? So tan 43 times 30 tan 69. And what do you get for an answer? 73-ish. Yep. So that's out of 2, because you only had to do 2 bits of trig. Any questions? Excellent. Microwave tower is supported by guy wires. I explained this a couple of questions ago, or a couple of days ago. There's a tower. Schlunk. There is one wire that is 9.8 meters away. 9.8 meters away, yes? 9.8. That wire goes up at an angle of 37. Agreed? Then there's a second wire that is at the same spot but goes all the way to the top. How big is that one? 58. I want to know this distance, yes? How do I find that distance? Well, I take the whole height and I subtract the orange height, correct? So how do I find those? What's the purple theta? 58. What's the purple adjacent? Adjacent. 9.8. Purple opposite is, I don't know. What's the orange theta? 37. What's the orange adjacent? 9.8. What's the orange opposite? Can't be x. Y. And then my answer has to be x, the tall one, minus the bottom one, right? X minus y is my answer. So what do? X is 9.8 tan 58, right? Y is 9.8 tan 37, right? Then I subtract them. And I don't remember what the answer is. Somebody did the question, though. I'll know it when I hear it. 8.13 sounds right. What? 8.3? Well, let's check. 8 is good enough. Takes 2 seconds to check. 9.8 tan 58 minus 9.8 tan 37. 8.3. Nice. Wow, it's almost like you guys did some trig. You must have had a good math teacher.
Wow.
This is usually when somebody in the class makes a joke and says their grade 9 teacher that wasn't me.
My grade 9 teacher was the
I know. Well, oh, shucks. Only if you were in Korea. All right. What's wrong with number 11? Why is it a bad question? What? Number? Oh. That's got to be out of 3 because you had to do a drawing, 2 trigs, and a subtraction. Why is 11 a bad question?
because it doesn't tell you how many towers there are.
Doesn't tell you how many towers. Right? And what if you don't know what a suspension bridge looks like? What's a suspension bridge?
Like the Port Man.
Port Man, Golden Ears, Pitt River, Alex Fraser, Golden Gate, Lions Gate.
The ones that go up and they're like, you have a color there?
No. They're the ones that are a bridge with 2 towers that have wires holding up the bridge.
It looks like big umbrellas.
So, what do I know about this bridge? How tall are the towers? 135. And the 2 angles are what? 10.8 and 18.65. I need how long the bridge is, right? So I need that
Oh, I did this one definitely wrong. I did it wrong.
and that. What do I do with those 2 numbers? No. I add those 2, and then what do I do with that whole answer? Multiply by 2 to cover the other half of the bridge. Now, the question becomes, I assigned this to you but didn't explain to you what a suspension bridge looks like. Now, if you had this for a job, if your boss said, hey man, we got to pave this bridge. I don't know how long it is. Go figure it out. Would you go back to your boss the next day and say, hey boss, I totally couldn't do it?
No.
No, what would you have done?
Figured it out.
How?
By using your resources.
By using resources available to you, right? Is there a resource available to you to find out what the Humber Estuary Bridge looks like?
Yes.
Damn right there was.
Google it.
What?
There's some bridges, suspension bridges that only have 2 towers that are side by side though.
You know the tree question?
What?
Okay, so you know how you said that there's like one set of towers, two set of towers, and then
Put
it
lawyer
goes
ball
going
in.
up? Well, there's some bridges that just have one set of towers and then it goes up.
Yes, I know that, which is exactly what I just said. You were supposed to figure it out. Because when you take some initiative for yourself and you go to
Ethan flexing.
here and you go, you could have used Siri. Siri's your friend. You could have said, Siri, show me
Open like, hey Alexa.
the Humber Estuary Bridge. Oh, I did estuary. Fortunately, it did it anyway. Huh. 2 towers. No.
Oh, it looks like the
Dude, if it's a bridge underwater, it's a tunnel.
Look at that picture right there.
No,
Beside it, the one on the right.
It's called a tunnel being dug.
Oh, I see it now. That looks like it was
Right.
underwater.
Mariana's trip.
I do not like that band.
Their drummer used to teach me how to play the drums.
Did he? Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, what was this one? It's tan again, right? Is it divide or multiply? Divide, because you know the opposite. So it's 135 over tan 10.8 plus 135 over tan 18.65. And then what do I do with that whole number? Times by 2. And it ends up being something like 2,190 or something.
2,215 something.
Did you just lawyer ball for some other kind of bridge when you did this right anyway?
I have no idea. We did the only one of them, so I just kind of went right to it and took a guess. Doing
What? What? You forgot that the bridge, so you only did these two?
Yes.
You forgot that the bridge carried on?
Not necessarily. It was just a bridge that you drive, and then the wind goes out, and then
I see. So you drew the bridge wrong.
yes.
All right. I would still give you full marks.
I just draw it properly.
It's out of 3. Making that page out of 7. I lie. Making that page out of 8. So 8 and 11 is 19, and 7 is 26, and 4, the whole thing is out of 30. When will you report your score out of 30 to me? On your test, which I have moved for the other class to Friday. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. I have a concern with that, moving your guys' test to Friday.
You were a sheep.
No. My concern is you guys have this class in the afternoon. And as is evidenced by the fact that my good friend Tasha is dead asleep on her desk. Afternoons, close enough. Afternoons are problematic for you people. Friday afternoons are doubly so. My concern is that, but the flip side of this coin is if I give you the test tomorrow, you only have 60 minutes with which to work instead of 80, which also bothers me. Now, somebody right now should be about to say, give it to us Monday.
No. Tests on Monday suck.
Tests on Monday are moronic.
Your brain just goes to mush for a weekend. You're like, boom, gang, time to do tests.
And then, I can think of a reason. No, it's not.
2 Fridays from now it's a holiday. It's a pro-D day.
The point I am trying to make is I am giving you this test this week. You have a choice
Friday, please.
to have it tomorrow, in which you will have 60 minutes to do this. Now, the test should only take half an hour. But of course, it will take longer than that because for some strange reason, kids your age seem to think that even if you don't know how to do something, if you get more time, you will miraculously figure out how to do it. I have never understood that. Who needs more time? I do, and I look over and the page is completely blank. Why is your page blank? I don't know how to do it. So how will more time help you? I don't know, I just need more time. I don't understand that. You could give me all week to explain why light can't get out of a black hole. I couldn't explain it to you. You know why? Because I don't know the answer. Doesn't matter how much time you give me, I don't know how to do that, so I would fail that test. So, the test should take half an hour. I can give it to you tomorrow when you have 60 minutes, or I can give it to you Friday when you have 80 minutes. I don't care. Either way, you're starting the next unit on the other day. So if you get the test Friday, you're starting the next unit tomorrow. If you get the test tomorrow, you're starting the next unit Friday. I don't care. Tasha, no, because that makes you think that you have some actual say in the matter. I make the decision. I listen to your guys' pleas. No, absolutely not.
No.
I know what I would do if I were you people.
Can we do it on Friday, please?
I would do it on Friday since you have 80 minutes. Then you don't have to feel stressed. Sounds good to me. Makes my life easier too.
Can I go first while waiting for
You're doing it Friday, right?
Yep.
How long is lunch total?
Oh, thank you. They have a Trig quiz today. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Listen up. Listen up, please.